Good day. This is Nextgrows Currencies Outlook for the coming week. And I must say from the start, today is a US public holiday, so we don't have a very good indication of how the week started. Things may change radically by tomorrow when everything is back to normal. Well, first of all, US crude light sweet over the weekend made a very promising break through this triangular formation downwards and is now at $91. So significantly below the psychological $100, but I will not be surprised if we have the so-called throwback back to $100, almost where the apex of the triangle is in the beginning of June. So this would be typical. You have a false breakout, then the true breakout, then a throwback towards the apex of the triangle before you really have a downtrend in crude oil. So the other thing that is also important is that the Brent crude lights, the crude light spread is $7, is normally $4.50. So whenever the spread between Brent and crude light widens, it means there is caution because the regions in the world, Europe and Asia, that suffer the most from the closure of the Strait of Hormuz use Brent crude, and therefore the spread widens. So I'm saying this is not a foregone conclusion that oil is dropping back to where it came from, $68. And therefore, I believe sooner or later, perhaps next week, which is in the beginning of June, there would be a throwback to $100. But nevertheless, this is how the situation is now at the start of this week, keeping in mind the United States as a public holiday. So it still seems a risk off, meaning that capital is flowing out of gold into the United States dollar, out of everything else, especially out of the emerging market currencies, but there is a peculiar development over there. So we have looked at this slide numerous times. Let's go on. Gold is still below this important support line right in the center of the channel. So that means gold isn't getting capital, it isn't a risk off, it isn't a risk on. In other words, investors community prepared to take on a risk. It is a risk off, and therefore gold stays below, keeping in mind today is a public holiday. Who knows what we will see tomorrow. In any event, I do think that there could be a comeback for gold, but probably not above this very important support line that has been supporting gold since the beginning of middle of September last year. There's the start of September. That is more or less the start of October, and gold has been supported by the support line. And only last 2 weeks ago, it has broken this support line. But in the final analysis, still staying in this bull channel. This brings me to another important point, and that is a basic intermarket principle. Gold shares are an arbitrator of future gold prices. I'm looking at Anglo Gold Weekly, a gold mining company familiar to us in South Africa. And 2 weeks ago, I said the acid test for gold, if Anglo Gold can breach 1,800 resistance there. So Anglo Gold dropped, got back to just 1,800, opened last week, 2 weeks ago, just above, at a high just above 1,800. The open was there, dropped all along. And it doesn't seem that Anglo Gold is willing to take out 1,800 resistance. There you see in gold, the price of gold, and clearly gold the decline in gold pressurizing the price of Anglo Gold. So if this is an indicator of future gold prices, it means that gold is going to struggle to get above this support line again, and probably weaken to the bottom of this trend channel around 4,400, whereas the middle line, the support line, is now around 4,750. So this is not a very bullish indicator for gold, based on the principle that gold shares are a good arbitrator of future gold prices. This brings us to the US dollar, strengthening in the past 2 weeks, getting resistance at 116, now sitting tight there. Again, Memorial Day, who knows what will be happening tomorrow, but I think what we should be seeing is a United States dollar weakening marginally. In other words, weakening from 116.43, where it is now, when I've drawn this graph of the LSEG platform, to 117 over there. In the end, I think we are in for a very sideways market. Calling market sideways is a bad habit, but I think gold not breaking above this support line is going to go sideways in that area there, which is around about 4,560 to 4,600, and staying there. That means the dollar probably weakening towards 117, staying there. Just again, keep in mind this sideways trend, sideways channel, 115 to 119, has been the range for the dollar since more than a year ago. So it wouldn't surprise if the dollar correct back to 117. Then the ZAR, this currency's outlook is primarily for the ZAR. I think the ZAR is a bit overdone on the stronger side, and should also revert back to 1650. I cannot understand why the ZAR is so strong, given the fact that gold is going nowhere and the dollar is sitting at 116 over there. It may be that the market participants are discounting the dollar going back to 117, in which case my prediction for the ZAR to go back to 1650 will probably not happen. In any event, the rand will probably stay in this area in between 1630 and 1650, but I do expect the ZAR to correct back to the center point of this sideways range, which is the center of gravity, back to 1650, as it has done since after the start of the Iranian war. Then the final point of view that I'm also keeping in the back of my head, that is the state of US equities. Now, it is, for a start, very difficult and dangerous to call a top in US equities, but I do think that the US Nasdaq, which normally leads US equities, can get resistance at 30,000 points. In other words, not being able to break through 30,000 points resistance, consolidating there for a few weeks, and because of selling pressure, because of the fact of the inability to not break through 30,000 points, we could see the Nasdaq back to around here, 26,000 points. So my outlook is bearish for the US Nasdaq. As I said, it's a dangerous prediction because of the outright strength in US equities. But I feel the Nasdaq is getting a concrete resistance here at 30,000 points. And the point I want to make, this isn't about equities, this is about currencies, that whenever you have weaker US equities, it actually leads to a stronger US dollar, especially when global capital rush to the safety of US bonds. You would then get what we are seeing here, a decline in the yields of the 10-year benchmark as capital move out of equities into US bonds. And if this is a global phenomenon, global capital is flowing into the United States dollar, and then you get a stronger US dollar, whereas logically you should get a weaker dollar with a decline in equities. So in summary, these currency outlooks are based on intermarket relationships to determine the perceived flow of global capital. The downward break of US crude light sweet is promising, but the throwback to $100 in early June will not surprise. There is a point of view going around that all these promises of President Trump that the strait is opening is beginning to sound hollow. On open this week, gold remains weak and the USD is strong, but we have to discount the US public holiday today. The ZAR call remains in the 16.17 per USD sideways range, and the weaker correction to 16.50 from the current 16.33 is expected. This outlook is nullified should gold correct back above its support line, as I've explained in detail. This is an outlook for currencies, not for any other financial instrument, especially not equities. Equities were used to get an indication of future strength of the United States dollar. Note the disclaimers at the bottom of each graph, all graphs drawn from the LSEG platform.